Welcome back to True Print for Life. I'm your host, Christina Vera.
And I'm your co-host, Maylin, Sambois.
Welcome back to another dynamic episode. Maylin and I are always trying to think about ways to encourage you, inspire you, to make you laugh, all the things. So thank you for sharing these episodes and certainly for following us on any of our platforms. And if you ever have questions or suggestions, please feel free to inbox us because we definitely love to hear that. And so today, I see you with the little braids in the front of your hair. You're watching this video, or you're listening
to I'm doing my braids because I was like, wait, I was just having them to get a little wave. They got waves now. Okay.
Well, today, we were talking about this right before we came up, is like the humidity today is crazy. Like it went from like 40 degrees to today, it's 90, I think.
My car said 90.
But it's like almost a little humid, but then it has a slight breeze. And so if you know Maylин's very particular about her hair. So these hotter seasons definitely
we'll be bringing curly hair out in a minute. I'm just waiting.
I like your curly hair. I don't know what you. I know your mom has.
She don't appreciate like the curls.
Listen, I think your curls are perfect. So.
Thank you. I agree. They go from like really cute to like Tina Turner, but it's fine.
No, but it looks good.
Thank you.
I love it too.
A lot of volume.
People pay for that volume.
I know.
Okay,
I try to maintain it. I try to contain it.
I've been in a bun off and on for like the past couple of weeks because I'm like, listen, it's too hot. Like, and it's just, yeah. So eventually I'm going to get a blowout, but not right now.
I know.
It's too hot.
I know. I think I have an event next week and I'm like, I got to get my hair done next week. Lord.
Yeah. The summer's here.
Unless it's really hot that day, it'll be curly.
Yes. And so today we're excited because we're going to kind of do a little bit of a flashback. And so when you think about, so both you and I, our birthdays just passed a couple of months ago. We are obviously in our 40s now.
Yes, thank God. What a blessing.
What a blessing. Yes. Absolutely. But it kind of made me kind of thinking to different like pockets of time when you think back to different like seasons of our lives. And so specifically, what would 2010 us think about us today? So if you could look at, if the 2010 version of you saw your life today, would they be impressed, confused, disappointed, shocked, all of the things? And so when I was thinking about this today, I had to think, I always think about like, okay, how many kids did I have then? I'm always like 2010, that was the year right after I had Juju, which was the year prior is when I met you.
Yes, we met in 2011?
I think we had to have met 2010 because Juliana was a baby. And she was small still. And I had her in May.
In May?
Yeah. So that I had to have met you like 20...
Oh, yeah, it was 2010 because you called me when I was driving to New York.
Right.
Yes, that was 2010 for sure. Yes.
I know Maylin's like, I shouldn't answer that phone call because my life has never been the same.
It was such a great call. I remember because I had Jaira in the... Not Jaira, oh my God, Gabriel.
Oh, okay.
So I had my first nephew in the back, about Jaira's age, probably.
Oh, was he that little?
Yes, and I was driving us to New York to see my mother. It was the first time I ever drove by myself, like for that length of time, and with him. And you called me when I was like, yeah, girl, I got time. Go ahead. I got 8 hours. Maybe 10 with the way I drive. You got 10 hours.
Yeah, so when you think about, when you go back, especially at that time, because we were kind of at that threshold of like still very much like young professionals. Like,
yes,
I don't even remember
very
what
green.
Job. Very like
they call it green,
right? Very green, very not sure. Yeah. And so to be honest, like even though like we were adults already, like still trying to understand what even adulthood was in 2010.
God. Well, I think, what a topic, guys. She didn't tell me we were talking about this, so if you shock, I'm shocker. I think the person in 2010 looking at me now will be shocked, but in a good way. Like surprise. Extremely grateful because at that year, it was such a year of loss. So that year was the year after I got divorced. I got divorced in 2009. And then fast forward, I went to Argentina for work. And then fast forward, I come 2010, we meet. And then my grandmother passed that December, who was like an anchor and a rock in our lives, right? Like after her death, I think everything changed in my family for sure. So that version of me, I think, could not imagine that I could be a business owner, that we were gonna write a book. Like it will all seem amazing for other people.
Yeah.
But it was nothing that I was ever like engraved in my heart that was possible for me. You see, so I'm still in awe. Like this morning I woke up in awe. I'm like, you got a house.
Right.
Like right
So
there, there's still
things.
things that I'm in awe. So I think that the old version of me would be just in awe with where we are. Even though we're not where we want to be, this is beyond my wildest dreams in 2010.
Absolutely. And when I thought back to that season, I had a 1-year-old, and then I also had a 8-year-old, and so I had 2 kids at the time. And I just remember at the time I was working at a job I absolutely hated, and so it was becoming more clear and clearer for me that I wanted to do something in the entrepreneurial realm. I didn't know what exactly it was, but I was like already like in this headspace of like, I have to figure this out. Like, I don't want to go to this job. I don't want to deal with these people. And so it's so interesting when I think back to that particular season. I had no idea what it would be, but I knew it would be something. And so just even thinking about just the way of the world. Now, there's aspects of 2010 that I do miss. It just felt like there was like, and I don't know if it's just because we have gotten older and busier and there's certain things we just can't do anymore from just an optics standpoint, but
we didn't have the same level of responsibility that we have now.
Exactly.
Right? So with expectations, the responsibilities have come. So our perspective has changed.
Absolutely.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 2010 was lit.
2010, I was literally thinking about one of Drake's first few albums was around that time. Like, listen, I mean, not that Drake's album. So shout out to Drake. A new album just dropped. I haven't heard all of it because I heard a lot of songs. But Drake at that time was really just hitting the scene as a rapper. And I remember the first time I heard some of his first few songs, and I was just like, who is this guy? And then so it's like now, like even to see like, like who was your favorite artist? What were you wearing? And like just even thinking about like looking back at photos of that season, like stuff that we thought was cute. Like why were we in the club with business clothes on? You're in the club with a full
got a little cardigan.
Like a full-on suit. You're in the club. Like just things back then that just didn't make sense. But nobody was on their phones. It was a vibe.
Very present.
Very present. Like you could go have fun with your friends. You didn't have to worry about being recorded. Like people were actually there to have fun. Oh,
thank God.
100%.
Lord, I thank you for the
TikTok
protection.
Was none of these things were a thing. Like Facebook
viral.
was around, but it wasn't. Facebook at that time was still like just college like focus. There, like your grandma wasn't on Facebook, So it was just definitely like a different time.
It was. No, the other part of that time, I was very, very much dancing. Yes, I was I was definitely having fun. One part was hard. The other part was fun, for sure. Yes, I was in corporate. I was definitely independent. And I was being a very community service in the different clubs, ensuring that everybody was behaving. Yes, and having a great time. Because I love music and I love dancing. So that was also part. It's like you work hard and you party hard, I think was the theme. So that started on Thursday and then on Sunday. And it was a great time. Yeah. For sure.
So true. And it's just like we think about like all of the new age of everything now with like AI, social media, just all of just the difference, and even like the fact that I remember at that time, so even thinking back like how much more like access we have now than we did back then. And when I say access, I think about that even from something like DoorDash and like being able to have groceries delivered to your house. Like,
also grateful.
Yeah, it's just thinking about things that where you like this lady I knew back then, and I know she probably kicks herself now, but like she used to talk about like a grocery delivery business. And what was crazy, like in some like more affluent parts of the country, like that was a thing. Like you could order your groceries and people will go shop for you. Like, but then it suddenly became accessible for everyone. And she talked about this one time where what prompted her to want to start this business was because she had just had her baby and she was like, it was raining. I had to go to the store to get formula, da-da-da-da-da. And she tried to pull into like a CVS pharmacy lane and they refused to like get some of the items she needed. Like they only could give her like
The pharmacy.
the specific things at that time. And so then she had to like park the car, get the baby out the car seat, go inside. And it was just like, but thinking about those types of things, like that was the way of life. Like there was no DoorDash. There was no like Uber Eats. There was none of that Amazon Prime. Like what? Like you were at Schottenstein's. You were at, like all the like
Lazarus.
right. You were at the mall, like literally. So there's parts of that. It's like the convenience aspect of how evolution has, like technology has evolved, has created more, I think, convenience and leverage, especially for families and working moms. But thinking back then is just but then part of that has also killed like the merchandise industry too, because like even like the holidays, right? Like if you celebrate holidays, like going into the mall was like an exciting time. Like everything was decorated and you were buying gifts for your family if you could buy gifts. But then now you go to them, like nobody's even in the mall.
No.
Like you see all this vacant retail because everybody's all shopping online. Like you could have never told me in 2010. Like I wish somebody would have told me, like, girl, you need to invest in like because AI has been around.
Yes.
We just, like if that's not
computers,
your realm. Yeah, computers
AI.
have been around. And it's just, but I never knew to the magnitude of what all computers could do.
Right.
Like Amazon wasn't even a big, I don't believe Amazon was at the level that it is
Not
now.
at 2010.
No, not in 2010.
No, because I didn't have a membership and I would have.
No, I mean, I feel like we were just getting out of like even the dial-up season of internet.
You got mail. Like,
Just like,
that dial-up was for real.
just so crazy to think back of just like how different everything was in 2010. And I mean, there's obviously pros to that and, cons. I was like completely had no idea of what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to do something different. And that was at the time I was starting to contemplate even like my personal relationships. Like I wasn't with my husband then, like we were like co-parenting, but we weren't together. Like I was in a whole nother relationship.
You were engaged.
Yeah, I was engaged. And I had just had Juliana and it was just like, like it just was just such a different time. Like
it's transition time.
100% transition time. And just realizing that I was like, I didn't really have like close even like relationships at that time. I had a couple people that I was like, I would hang out with on occasion, but even like my siblings and stuff, like it was just such a different time. Like I don't remember spending a whole lot of time with my family back then, but maybe I did and I just don't remember. I think
everybody was also trying to figure out their own way.
Yeah,
everybody was trying to figure out like their own space coming from where y'all come from. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was trying to find their own.
Everybody was doing their own thing.
Yeah,
they're
like trying to survive. Some people were just trying to survive.
And gas wasn't $5 a gallon back then.
I just so indulged in that. I say
you could get a whole house. You could rent a whole something for like you could still get an apartment for $600.
Listen, actually, wait, was that the first or second? No, yes. I saw my apartment in Westerville was like $610.
Oh, I remember that little cute apartment.
Yes, 2 bedrooms, little storage unit. Like, don't play with. I was like, that was just such a jewel.
Yeah,
I was almost had to let it go. I was like, oh, I gotta get married, but I gotta let it go. I don't want to let it go. I was like, what if I have to come back?
Yeah, it's so true. I agree, and I think back, it's just like, man, you just don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Like if I had invested my money differently. Things that you just, in 2010, it was really like, I think as you mentioned, everybody was just like in this like transitional point. It's like, you're working, you're trying to figure things out, but it definitely was not a whole lot of time to like think ahead the way. So looking back, those are some of the things. Now, I would say I am proud of what we've built. And I think that is so incredible. And there are things that I'm just like, man, like I personally don't know how we got here.
Well, you had this vision, though. Like, I remember people telling me when we connected with some of the people you knew before you met me, like, you had this vision before you met me. So you had like, I mean, you
I
had
had a part of it. I
you
didn't
had a
have any.
vision.
Yes,
You
it was
had
something.
a vision, right, of
Yeah.
supporting girls. Like you had a
Yeah.
vision. So there was something that was planted in you way before we met.
Yeah.
Right. It could be because of what you went through when you were young, right? Becoming a young mom. Like there's so many, having to deal with our parents and their hurts and how that kind of, was given to us.
Right.
Having to raise siblings that we didn't like what.
Right.
So
These
like
are your kids.
right, like what's going on here? So like all of those things.
Right.
You were given a vision. Now, it probably wasn't like a full vision at the time. Because then you have like, absolutely not. I'm actually going to go this other route. Because one thing I'm learning is that God is not giving you always the full vision.
No.
Right? Like he's giving you he's hinting you to what he wants you to do. And he's telling you kind of what he wants you to do. But he's not telling you how you're going to get there. He's not telling you the roadblocks you're going to face. Because God had given me some of the previews. Like, you know how I love movies previews. But like, let me say this. Previews for movies, that's one of my favorite things in the movie theater. Like, skip everything else. I want to see the previews of the next movies. I love that. And I think God knows that. And he refuses to give me previews of things because maybe he doesn't think I'm going to select that route or that, right? Or that walk. But I'm grateful at times. Once I pass it, I'm grateful because the old me, the fears will have come and may not have let me, right, kind of walk that path. So because we had an idea, right, a feeling, and we trusted that without fully knowing, right, all the things is probably why we have been successful in our eyes, right? Because success is different. It's really very subjective. Right. But for us, looking back, I can definitely say we're successful, right? Like there's no doubt in my mind of the word successful.
Yeah.
And there's other things that we want with that success, but you cannot say we're not successful.
Right.
And that we have not helped other people be successful. So I feel like that I can definitely walk away 100% to heaven knowing that. And then even when I met you, like I didn't know nonprofits. I didn't understand like, why you don't work for a company? It's just so weird. Like, right? Like, what do you mean? Like, that's not a thing. Like, so we started doing this out of the goodness of our heart, but I was supposed to retire at Chase.
Oh, I know.
That was what I was giving. I was giving that assignment with my father, and that's not, and it was such a go against my whole upbringing to be like, no, you're going to leave this corporate job and you're going to go and work in the nonprofit world. Because even after I left Chase, I went for pretty much almost a nonprofit for the school to work for the organization. But that every step of the way has led us here. So like, I don't even regret.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm like, oh, this shouldn't have happened. I'm like, yeah, but then you won't have this. Had the things that happened the way they happened, I probably would have never met you.
Yeah. It's true.
I would have not been able to be in that program. I would not have been able to be driving to New York and get your call. Like, none of that thing would have been possible had I stayed in my previous situation. There's no way.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think it's so interesting because even what I would have defined as success back then,
right,
is completely different than how I define success today. And I think for our listeners, if you haven't taken it, it doesn't have to be 2010 specifically, but think about a era of time where you felt like you were maybe in your most transformational stage, whether that was, 5 years ago, but
last year.
it could be last week,
right.
So just taking the pause to think about like, wait a minute, like, because I think it's important as we often talk about like, we're the type of people that we are always just kind of on to the next thing. We don't very much pause or dwell, but it is important. And I don't believe you should dwell. I think it's more about reflection, be reflective, because oftentimes, especially if there are things that didn't go the way that you initially thought that they would go, being able to spend some time really thinking, okay, what could I have done differently? Not that you can go back, but it's about being intentional in how you move forward.
Right.
And I think in 2010, even just thinking, my mind was so very much occupied on wanting to make a certain amount of money. It was just really, for me, it was always about how, like, is there money involved? Like,
so what's the cost?
What's the cost? And that was just what drove me for many years. And not that I'm not money conscious, like not that money is still not a priority to me, but it's kind of like different now. Like I have a different understanding of why I need money. And so even thinking back to as we think about different stages and phases, like sitting with like what does success look for me in this season, for us in this season, versus that girl in 2010 where it was just like, I'm just trying to get money. Like I wasn't thinking about how it affected my physical health, how it affected my mental health, the people I was around. Like if you did X, Y, and Z legal stuff and like I could make money, I don't know how many multi-level marketing invitations. And now, granted, I never did any of those businesses.
I sure did.
But when people came and were like, I want to talk to you about this, I was like, if I can make money, I'm going to go. And I'll be sitting there like, you about to go sell
soap?
Whatever this is. Because I was just so like fixated on like, how do I make money? And I think that was also part of the upbringing we talked about earlier, was just like, because when you grow up already kind of navigating different poverty elements, you never want to be without. And so it's just this mindset of like, I got to get money, I got to make money. And I feel like even prior to 2010, I want to say most of like my early 20s, honestly, since I was probably about 13, 12, I was always kind of like, I gotta get a job. It was never about having a career. It was never about having an impact. It was like, I just needed a job to like get money, and that was it.
Yes. I mean, since I was allowed to work, I know I needed to have a job.
Yeah.
Like that was escape for me. It was like, you need to get a job. You need to make money because this is how you exit whatever situation you're in your family. So this is how you go, right? And so, I mean, the moment I was allowed, I was at that movie theater like, hello? I didn't speak English that well, but oh my God, like I speak great now. It was so broken. I don't know how they understood me, but I was so passionate about getting that job. I got the job before I told my dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so when Marcus Theater, hello Marcus, opened in Pickerington, I was probably like 15, 15 or so. And then my uncle, who recommended me for the program where I met you.
Right.
I was like, hey, I think they're doing interviews, take me. So he took me. I didn't tell my dad. I got the job because I was very convincing that they should give me an opportunity. I mean, how are you going to know how good I am if you don't try me?
Right.
So they gave me the opportunity. And then I went to my dad and tried to convince him that it was a good idea for me to apply. I was like, listen, Dad, I feel like I'm ready. I got good grades, because that was one of the requirements. I had to get good grades. I have good grades. I can still pick up my sister after babysitting. Like, I can still do all of this, but I need to work. So if you just let me apply, I feel like I could get it. And he was like, no, they're not going to take you. Like, you're still learning English. And I was like, no. So I was like going back and forth with him. And at one point I was like, Daddy, they already gave me the job. Kenny took me and they gave me the job, and I just need you to say yes. Like, he was like, what? I was like, oh, don't get mad. Don't be mad. Because in the Latino culture, you don't do things and then tell your parents. Right. You're supposed to like wait for the thing. But I'm grateful because at that moment, I also realized there's going to be things that I'm going to have to do that are going to go a little bit against this perception of my family of limitations. Yeah. I didn't know all these wonderful words back then, but I just felt it in my heart like, I believe something I needed to do. I did it, scared. I got it. Yeah. And then I went from that to I stayed with that job until I graduated high school. And I got another job at the distribution center because once I got a car, I was game. I could go everywhere. And I really felt independent. Like I could just start getting independent. And then from that, you could not take me away from work. So I feel like from early on, I have been like this where I have had 2 to 3 jobs at certain times because that to me was security. Right. Like people could not tell me no. You cannot hold me hostage to things. Yeah. And because of those things, I was also able to exit relationships that try to control me or try to keep me down. So it is important, like when you go back and think of these things, because back then, I was surviving in all the transitions. 2010, I had no longer my house that my family helped me build. And I was like, when would I ever even be able to get a house again? Like, it was such a loss of not just the marriage at the time, but also like this material thing that was supposed to symbolize success, And then that was taken. And then I wasn't smart with my money because at the time, my family all had issues. I had the money, so I was here supporting. Like I was the bank with no type of contracts. And it just really was, I wasted at the time, let's say money. I didn't take the loss well personally, but then also financially.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't think there was gonna be like a whole. I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna be my life. I'm gonna have an apartment forever. I just need to like continue to have a job and continue to provide. Like that was it. And when you can travel and when you can, go dancing, but that was my life. Like that was really what I saw for the rest of the life. And coming to meet you, where you have these wonderful ideas and this wonderful passion, I was like, this girl is so passionate. She wants to do what? You were, okay, well, let's see, how much is it? So to me, it's like, well, how much is that going to cost? Okay, do I have it? Yeah, I have it. We could do it. We could try it. But I'm grateful for the spirit of adventure.
Yeah.
Because
I love how Maylin always puts a positive
yes.
spin. You hear this, Dalton? She's calling this adventure because it is. So I always have this one on an adventure. It's so true.
It is. And it was such an adventure and it changed our lives.
Yeah.
So had I said no because I was scared of whatever this new thing was,
right,
I would not have gotten all these amazing experiences. We will have not gotten to know each other the way we do. And I think it was, for me, it's still one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Yeah.
Like that was such a great thing. Getting that call and then saying yes. I want to hear more. Whatever you got, let me see. And then saying yes every time, still not knowing.
I know. That's so true. Because I didn't even know either. And that's what's so crazy is just like, and sometimes you don't know. I think it's like, if you didn't take anything from today's episode.
You took a lot. Don't hear that.
Just to paraphrase, even if you like, sometimes you're not going to know.
You're not.
But if you have a burning feeling, like we didn't know, but it was just something,
like a calling.
It was something about it. I didn't know, but I knew like there were a few people that I wanted to have this conversation with. And then I just was like, I don't have all the details, and I have learned that could be a good thing and a bad thing because I'll be ready to go to the moon, and I'm like, well, how are you gonna get there? Which I appreciate the fact that as my husband will always say, he's like, well, you're a dreamer, like,
you're a visionary.
Yeah, he's like, you're a dreamer. You be, and I know, I think that's great, but we both can't be dreamers. Is what he always reminds me. Which that's a different conversation, but it's also I'm grateful, and when I feel like I'm not able. Like, I recognize for me, because I am always kind of in that creative space, and when I can't create, that's when I know, like, either something has run its course, or I need a break, or I need a reset, or something. I'm missing, some
You're out of alignment.
I'm out of alignment. Mm-hmm. And so I think that is so, so spot on. And I think as we get ready to wrap this episode here shortly, would love to get your thoughts on, in that reflection of 2010, it's kind of like a two-pronged question.
All right.
So what matters less than you thought? That's the first half of it. And then what is something you used to chase that you no longer care about? So what matters less than you thought back in 2010? Like, in reflection now, what actually matters less than you thought it was going to be like?
People's perceptions.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was born to please. Mm-hmm. I was conditioned to please, not born to please.
Yeah.
I was conditioned to please and to keep the harmony, regardless of how heavy that was on me. Mm-hmm. And I think at this time, I want to do well. I want to serve, but I'm no longer feel obligated to please.
Makes sense.
So if it doesn't benefit all of us,
right,
it doesn't benefit. Now, don't think like 3 years ago I had that. No.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But today, I am more aware that I don't have to please and burn me in the process.
Absolutely.
And back then, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like even just making changes on my job, I had to wait for my parents. I was in my late 20s. I'm like, no, what do they think? And I respect my parents deeply, but there are certain things that I have to do that may not go in alignment with what they want for my life.
Right.
But it is what is best for my life at the time. So that would be...
I love that.
Yeah.
And what is something you used to chase?
But what about you?
It could very much go the same way. I think it's the same as you. I think what matters less to me than I thought is... I think it is the perception of other people. I think...
But the people of you.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Wondering, do I fit in? Am I supposed to be in the rooms?
Am I qualified to be in the room?
Oh, for sure.
Right,
because that was always like for years, because, looking at I don't have a traditional educational background. I don't have, I didn't, go off to college. I didn't have
You went to college.
Yeah, I went to college, but not in a traditional sense. Mm-hmm. Like most people, you graduate, you go off, you get your degree in one setting. Like, my stuff has always been a combination of different things. And so it was always just kind of thinking like, okay, it was never about working hard or the ethic. That I feel like I outdo a lot of people on, and that's just my natural, like, who I am. But when you get into those spaces, I'll be like, they're going to know that I'm not qualified to be
I don't have a degree.
I don't have what they have,
Yeah.
you know? And so it took, I mean, I probably just got to that space maybe about 2 years ago when I was sitting in rooms with people who are like,
PhDs.
like beyond, like, you know, you run a whole city and you don't know nothing.
Right.
And I ain't saying which city, but
Yeah. We only live in one city.
So it's just kind of like, you know, having to finally say, like, if you've been positioned to be in spaces, don't talk yourself out of like that work or being in there and really being at your optimal self, because not one person knows everything.
No, nobody knows everything.
Nobody knows everything. And I think the caveat to that would be like, let go of relationships much sooner. I hung on to way too many relationships.
Oh God, yes.
In that area of time, whether it was cousins, family members, relationships, friendships that I had for decades. And it was just like, to me, it was important to have these folks. And now in reflection, like, none of that was important. Like, if you have a solid one or two people that you can call and, you know, and be honest with, or, you know, talk about things, then you're fine.
Yes.
You don't need all these people around you.
No,
you don't need to fill a section at a club. You know, like things that used to be so like, I'm going to get a section. Like, girl, you don't even know 20 people. Like, what do you mean?
Like, what section can I get in? Because I'm not paying $150 for that bottle.
Listen, just like the things, because the expectations versus reality.
Yes.
Going back to what you were saying earlier, it's just like we had all these expectations, whether we put them on ourselves or, you know, we were conditioned to feel like that's what we had to hit. But then when you, now in the season that we're in, the reality of like who we really are, what we actually really like and don't like, you just become when you become aware of the expectations versus reality, it frees you in a way that, you know, you start to really quickly figure out, this is not for me. And I think in that season of 2010 specifically, I had no idea. I was just, you know, tackling things on. And it becomes, then you start to feel burnt out. Then you start to, you start having medical problems and this and that. And the truth of the matter is that, if you don't spend the time figuring out who you are and how you want to show up in this world, other people will write that for you.
Absolutely.
And you will become no longer an individual, but a character in other people's book.
Yeah.
And you have to determine how you want to live your life. And not that you can't have, friends or family or take the advice of others that you respect, but be very careful on where that information comes from or who you're listening to. Because I think even reflecting back, I was like, why would I ever have taken advice respectfully from any of those people?
This comes with growth.
It's growth, yes.
Yes. So evaluating the source. I always say evaluate the source.
Always evaluate the source.
Yes. What are the intentions, right? Like there's people that say advice, you said thank you for that, and you go straight to the trash.
100%.
Straight to the trash. What was the last thing?
Oh, the last one was, so the last one is, hold on, let me go back. Okay. What is something you used to chase that you no longer care about?
That's
I think I might know for you, but...
Oh, yeah, but maybe if you know, because
I'm not going to say it, because if it's not that, I would hate to say that, but...
I don't know that it's love. Okay. Right?
I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
I was like, never mind. Well, you answer the question.
And I don't know, like, okay, so I love love.
Yes.
So it's not love. I think for such a long time, I wanted to be love because I didn't feel love, right? For whatever reasons in my past. So I chased that and in different ways. But right now, like, I love love and I still have the hope that one day the right person will come. But it's no longer what I'm chasing.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. I was like, because when I first met you, I knew that's like you wanted to be married. You wanted to do the whole shebang. And I used to be like, okay. And we were opposites because I never was like, girl, no, I don't want to.
I'll marry her.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want none of that. But you always wanted.
I just want to love.
You wanted to be married, whatever. But over the past few years, I'm like, so wait. You're not talking, like, it just, So what happened? That was so quick.
I just stopped interviewing.
Yeah.
Or this.
I closed the application portal for now.
I learned to let go faster. That also came with progress because I will hold on because I'm like, I already invested time on this.
Right.
My family already, my friends already know this person. Like, start over again. And at one point, I'm like, actually, once I got to this point, I'm like, well, first of all, you got to do the application process has to be a little more refined.
Oh, yes.
So the application process has been refined, and therefore, the applicants are less. And therefore, I don't waste so much more time because I don't have time to waste either. So I'm also at a time where I have to really evaluate my time.
Right.
And I don't have time to waste. And words are amazing. They're so beautiful. But actions are speaking louder to me. So, good morning. Thank you. Good morning to you. And...
What else you got?
I'm like, do you know the size of my child's diaper? Do you know what type of milk my child? So those are certain things that I think also, as women, especially when you're a single mom, because it's different when you are a single person than when you're a single mom. Because as a single mom, you have more responsibilities. You're not caring just for you, which was, hey, now you cannot make any decision without knowing where's my child going to be, who's going to take care of my child. So there's certain things that have shifted for me.
Right.
Which I'm not, I don't regret because I had a great single life. But now where I am more intentional about who I'm spending time with, who I'm getting to know, who I allow in my life, because I do have another life.
Not just you anymore.
No, another life that depends on me and also our future. So if I'm wasting time with whatever, then I'm not building a stronger future for my son and myself. And that's where I am. What about you?
I love that for you. No, because there was a few back then I was like, are you sure?
I know. And I was really doing charity work at one point. But I definitely just kept my charity to Femergy now.
Great heart.
My charity has now one place. It's called Femergy.
I feel like Maylin she would wait very, very last to be like, so what do you think? I'm like, do you really want to know what I think? Like, or you want me not to say nothing?
Oh, she will ask me things. I'm like, she asked me the same question 3 times. I wonder if she's looking for a different answer. Is this the one? I'm like,
are you sure?
Your question used to be, is his the one? I'm like, why does she keep asking that? Like, if she doesn't think his is the one?
I just be like, whatever you love, I love. But
which means I don't love it, but I just don't know why you love it. FYI, if your friends ever says that to you.
I know. So funny. So funny.
What about you?
Something I used to chase that you no longer care about. I would have to say, I think it would probably be relationships, but in a different way. Like I no longer will track you down and figure out what happened. Like if we fall out,
the ghosting is fine.
It's fine. Like I really am at a place where it's just like, no, I am in a space though where I am trying to be more intentional about having adult friendships, but there has to be very clear alignment. Not that we got to think the same and be the same. So I want to say that with the caveat of like, okay, I think I'm ready to have a few more friends, but I'm no longer like, it's just a different mindset. I'm no longer chasing you. I'm no longer having to be like, why you didn't call me back or what happened or like, I'm just done with it. Like, I feel like real friendships, it shouldn't be that much work. It should just be like, yo, I know you busy, I'm busy. Even if we text for a whole year and then finally we make it up to brunch, it shouldn't be no weird energy. And there's a lady specifically, like, she just always had weird energy because months will go by and it's just like, I'm like, I'm busy. You want to see me? You won't have to pull up to one of these events we're having. And to me, it was just, and I'm glad, like, she blocked me, I think.
What?
Yeah, she blocked me recently. No, it's okay. I mean, I don't have any.
No, it's okay. Like, it's okay later. I'm going to need an answer.
Yeah, because I tried to message her and my thing didn't go through. So I think she blocked me.
Oh, my God.
And nothing happened.
Probably the phone got hijacked.
Maybe. I don't know. But I bet
but
you.
It's fine.
But I didn't go to Facebook. I was like, hey, girl, but old me would have been like, dang, what did I do? Do I need to pull up to her house? Do I need to send her an edible arrangement?
Oh, wow.
I'm not doing that.
You do that?
I sent you edible arrangements.
No, that's because you like me, though. But I know, you're trying to track me. You have to go to my house. What you mean?
So I'm just not chasing that no more. Yeah. I don't chase. It was for me. It's for me. People who are for me. People who understand me, who get me. I don't feel like I need to constantly be in this space of like validating why we should be friends. Validating, even from a sibling standpoint. I love my siblings to death. But a couple of them, like, it's just going to be a different dynamic. Really, it's just...
They're all different.
They're all different. And it's just... And that, to me, would have never been the case because I take the role of being the oldest very seriously. Like, okay, it's my job, regardless if you're acting funny or you're doing this, it's like, actually, it's not my job. These are not my kids.
Absolutely not.
You want to be out here doing X, Y, and Z, and you want to be moving on. Listen, good luck to you. If you need me, you can call me, but I'm not seeking those relationships. You want to move, you want to do this, you want to do that. I don't have no problems with it. I'm at peace.
If it makes you happy.
If it makes you happy.
I'm happy for you.
Yes.
No, I think that's great. I mean, today was really actually very reflective for me. So thank you for this great topic. I encourage people to go back and make their own list of reflections. Pick a time of the year, of a time that was really hard for you, or that you feel like really you were going through transitions, and figure out what you learned from that. Because for us, if any hurt, whatever it is, there's always a lesson. So you have to go back and look for the lessons and then be grateful for that. And then now figure out how you're going to move forward.
Right. So true. And thinking of, and even like those old mindsets, because I honestly thought I was going to retire at 40. I don't know why.
Because you thought like
40
Beyonce.
thought was so old. I was like, in my
like
20s, I was like,
Beyonce.
I'm going to be done working by the time I'm like, girl, why did you think 40 was older? Why did you think 40 was old to begin with?
Because people look older at 40, though.
Back then, I think
Yes,
so.
they did. Because I don't see us.
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. I mean,
This is the best.
now with all the advancements in technology, now if you want to look old, that's different.
Yes.
Nothing is wrong with aging. I
No,
will say
aging
that.
gracefully.
But just being, healthy and doing what you feel
is right for you.
because there's no standard. It's whatever you deem as a standard. We just have a different standard of how we want to be to the end.
Yes, I think that when Beyonce decided not to retire at 30 or whatever the age was that she picked.
Shakira's out there shaking, and J-Lo, I just saw her in a Gucci runway show. I mean,
yes, I mean
these women are older.
Janet just turned 60.
Janet Jackson did just turn 60,
she's doing
she looks fire.
And she's doing a concert in Japan.
I mean,
so obviously, to me, that was.
Kris Jenner looks like she's 25.
It's a green light to say, because I think this is the thing with retirement, though. So we didn't have the right words, because it's not that you want to retire at a certain time. You want to be work optional at a certain time.
I want to be financially free.
Yeah, because
specifically,
yes, financially free at a certain age, and I think we didn't know that then.
We didn't plan effectively. I kept saying that. I was like, girl, you wanted to be financially free, but you was not investing. You wasn't doing it's all on me. I take full accountability.
So even then now, like, I'm like, okay, I want to take a couple of things. And I'm like, but is that, like, how is that going to support your financial goal? Like,
it supports your mental health.
Yeah, my mental health is supported in my porch. I was in my hammock this weekend, and I was like, this is free,
Yeah.
I mean, my mortgage is not free, but it's just free compared to, like, I'm like, I want to be on a beach. And then I'm like,
you should be.
And I will be.
Okay.
But not at this moment when
next month. We'll talk about it. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support. And just know that, as we talk about, Maylin and I can laugh about certain phases of our lives, understanding that certain periods of time are hard for people, and everybody goes through different things.
And they were hard for us.
They were hard for us. So now we can kind of look back and laugh about certain aspects of it. But those were harder times, real times. But what I hope you took away from today, or our intention is for you to know that these are all seasons. These are not permanent things. They don't have to be permanent things that have happened in your life. We all go through them. We are sometimes altered and affected by these things, but understanding that you have the ability to wake up every single day, God willing, and you can make steps and changes to change the trajectory of your life. And being grateful for the things that have come before you, because they shaped you one way or another. But you, God willing, are the author of the next steps. And so whatever that looks like to you, know that you're worth it, know that you matter. And, and if you need to continue to be intentional about creating a village to remind you of that, whether it's daily, weekly, whatever that looks like, because I truly believe that any decade or any season of your life matters, and just how you want to show up. And so thank you for being on this journey with us, even having a podcast all these years. That was never anything we ever really officially talked about. We wanted to play with it, and the fact that we still get to do that here a few years later is crazy. So
yes, and we launched it at a beach. So in this, to continue this work, I think if you want some type of roadmap or some type of guide, our book, The Journey from Who You Are to Who You're Meant to Be, is an amazing tool And it's going to give you some glimpse of some great real stories that we share in the book, but also some great tools for you to take some steps in your life. So it's on Amazon right now. So you can go to, to Amazon.com and type The Journey from Who You Are to Who You're Meant to Be, or type Christina Vera or Maylin Sambois, and the book will come up and you will get it probably next day if you order it right now.
Yes. So thank you for tuning in. And as always, we like to close every single show here. It's bigger than you.
Thank you so much for listening today. We're excited and we hope that you follow us on
Instagram, True Print for Life, YouTube channel, also True Print for Life. And make sure that you share, like, watch our videos. Make sure that you follow us on all streaming platforms.